Hello and welcome to Career Magic. My name is Nitin Kulkarni and I'm back with another episode. And today I want to talk about getting ahead in your career by differentiating yourself. When we want to grow, we want to do really well in our careers, all of us have this aspiration. How do we do it? Because there's a lot of people, right? There is competition, and without resorting to anything negative, the best way is to differentiate yourself, to show that you are a person who can produce results. And one of the surest ways I have found that we don't talk about a lot is to have what I call a bias for action. A bias for action. One of the best ways to differentiate yourself. And before I get into that and talk more about it, what I want to do is I actually want to share a really interesting story with you from my own life. It's a true story. So my daughter went to a really good school in Pune, India, and she played basketball. And she was a very good basketball player. They had a really good basketball team, a good basketball program. And they used to win a lot. So they won state championships. Many of the students from her class, including my daughter, made it to the nationals, where they represented the region or the state in the national championships. So did really well, and for a long period of time. So many of us basketball parents used to get together once in a while to share stories and talk about our girls, share stories, and we were all very proud of our girls who played the sport together and did so well. So on one of those occasions, we were having breakfast, and one of the basketball parents started talking about this girl who is 5-6 years older than my daughter, was part of the school, and they knew this girl's family, and they said, there was this girl and she was really wonderful. And then they started talking about what she did after school. So she was a basketball player, really good basketball player, good academically, good all-round student. After her 12th grade, she opted to pursue a degree in medicine. So she took a very competitive exam, got through, and got admission in a really good medical college in Pune, one of the established, well-known medical colleges in Pune. So she went to college, and after she started going to college and attending classes, one day she said, I want to go and play basketball, her passion. So she took a ball and went into, so this college has a really nice campus, a big playground, and etc. She went looking for the basketball court but couldn't find one. So she asked around, and she found that they didn't have a basketball court. So the next day she went to the administrative department and said, hey, can you give us at least like a half basketball court, we want to play, etc. And they said they actually she didn't get a very good reception, let's just put it that way. She was told that this is a medical college where students find all the time they can get to study. So no one here does this sort of thing. So sorry, this is not going to happen. Just put your head down and study. Didn't happen. She tried a few times, but didn't work at all. So many of us in that situation would get really frustrated, curse the college and its administration, and say, nothing happens over here. So, and just move on with life. That's not what she did. She found a few other girls in the college who wanted to play basketball and said, hey, why don't we do something about it? So she had an idea. So they went to the ground, and a quiet corner in the ground, they found a level spot. And what they did was they built a small basketball half court. So built meaning what? They just drew lines, with some gardening implements, and put some chalk powder in there to make lines, and just like a makeshift place. They found a pole and a basketball board and a ring and a net, just installed it over there, and started playing in that makeshift court and started having fun. So a few of them would play regularly whenever they could get together and find time. So one day this girl said, you know what, I want to play in a tournament. Why don't we sign up? There's this tournament. And but they didn't have, for a tournament you need a roster, a minimum number of players. They didn't have those. So she went around, talked to a few nurses, people from the nursing staff, got them interested, made a roster, and was able to sign up for tournaments. And this team went and played some tournaments. We don't know if they won anything, but they had a lot of fun. Now, the story is that today this college has a proper basketball court, and I'm sure the seed for that was planted by this girl. Now this girl did her thing, finished, and went on, and there's more stories about her, of the types of things she did after she finished her undergraduation in medicine and went for her post-graduation, but I'm not going to get into that. For the purpose of the topic for today, what do we learn from the basketball girl? For me, the biggest learning is just don't get negative. We work in environments where everything does not go our way. There are constraints, there's a lot of people, there are processes, procedures, and even downright, resistance to doing anything new. And often what happens is we get frustrated by that and give up and say, okay, that's fine. This is the way things work over here. Let's just get on with it and do something else, or let's not worry too much about it. Eventually, if we get really frustrated in an environment like that, we may move on to another role, another job, another company. But eventually we do run into resistances. So the thing that we learn from the basketball court is this bias for action. Whenever we run into these sorts of situations, can we take a step back and say, okay, what is it that I can do? Is there anything I can do within my own little circle of influence to make a difference? And if I can, let me just not get into negativity, negative conversations, criticism, etc. Just go in there and do something. And can I rally some like-minded people with me and see if we can make a difference, do something about it? And we have opportunities like this all the time in our work lives. So that's what we learn from this girl. And I'll tell you, if you want to differentiate yourself from people around you, develop a bias for action. This is also called like operating within your circle of influence. Now, if this girl had just wanted the administrative department of the college to install a court, that was the circle of concern, that I'm concerned we don't have a court, please go ahead and do it. But it was not within her control. She would have got frustrated, given up. But she worked within her circle of influence. She said, okay, what is it that I can do? And she went ahead and did something and moved that agenda forward. See if you can do that. Work within your circle of influence. And what happens when you do that is that your circle of influence grows. Other people take notice. Other people rally around you. Can you get in trouble for doing these sorts of things once in a while? Yes, absolutely you may. Once in a while you may get in trouble. But as they say, impactful people are those who don't ask for permission. They would rather ask for forgiveness than permission. Just go out there and do it. Develop a bias for action and just see. So how can you actually do this in practice tomorrow? Think about anything that is frustrating you, anything where you're not making progress. Get a couple of people together, and instead of talking about what is not happening, talk about, okay, how can we do a little something to make a difference, and take that next step immediately and see where that takes you. Start making that a habit. And this bias for action, people will notice. And believe me, you will differentiate yourself. And that can create magic in your career. So all the very best to you. If you like that story and that concept, do like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll keep posting these videos. So whenever I do, if you are subscribed, you will get a notification of any new video that comes along. And happy to be on this journey with you to create magic in your career. That's all for today. Bye for now.